Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this Thursday morning, game day. I'm going to make a big shout out to Paul the Tim to start with. You're going to say, why the hell? Because it was a long, long time ago that Paul, I've been at a few games in Europe and sat and drank with Paul over the years. Um, it was his Stuttgart away back in 2003 was his first Euro away game. He's been at 105. Tonight we'll make it his 105th European away game. Fair play to the lad. Don't know. That's somebody that goes to every single games. Imagine how many games that he's made over the years. But anyway, I know a lot of older guys that still go to every single away game and every home game and every European game. They're way ahead of you, Paul, and you know who they are. Anyway, good morning and welcome back to the channel. Martin O'Neill isn't happy. When exactly did Julian Rocco get injured? Because he was in training with Celtic yesterday. Did he pull up in training? Will he be fit for the weekend? Martin O'Neill said that he didn't travel because he wasn't fit. People in the comments are saying that's brilliant because keep him for the weekend. I've got the fear of death in me that Julian Arocco may not be fit for the weekend. Tell me what you think in the comments section. Chris Sutton has been talking about. We're going to deviate from the. I'm going to give you my starting 11 in a minute, and I'll give you a prediction that what might happen during the game and what Martin O'Neill might do at certain points of the game. But before that, I want to talk about what Chris Sutton has been saying. He says that Celtic have a game in hand, but Celtic don't have the strength that they have had in previous seasons. I think that we all know that. The squad is nowhere what it has been in the past to get us. You know, we're still in with the fight, as Chris says, but Chris Sutton says they don't have the strength they've had in previous seasons. I'm certainly sure that Celtic will up their game if they want to win the title, but I just can't see it for Celtic this season. Martin O'Neill wasn't really focused on title chances when he was here the first time round. He was just filling the gap. He says, but when you look at the three sides, you know, there's other aspects of the competition, such as recruitment. Sutton declared, I thought there would be about an arms race to see who would get off to the better start in January. Celtic are at the bottom of it. The recruitment has not been on point by any stretch of the imagination, says Chris Sutton. Big dig at the recruitment of the players that have been brought in. Do you think that because the players were brought in on loan, does that have a bearing on the season, or just do you think that we're obviously going for other players that didn't come to Celtic? Is there any point, Chris, in bringing up the transfer window? It is what it is. You know, you've got to utilise the players that you have at your disposal between now and the end of the season. And Martin O'Neill says that he was happy with the transfer window because he managed to get a number of bodies in to help the squad. And that's all that we're crying out for. You know, the standard of player, we have to have a serious look at ourselves now at Celtic, because I don't think that the standard of player, like Chris says, and like many Celtic fans want to come to the club. A lot of fans want players like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain level to come into the club. That's not happening anymore. It just the finances are not there. Martin O'Neill yesterday reiterated again, once again he reiterated the fact that, you know, there's a gap when it comes to Europe. But then people will say, well, look at Bodo Glimt. You know, they come from a place that's almost at the North Pole. You know, Santa and his elves maybe gives them a hand. I don't know. But there's one thing for sure, the Bodo Glimt are doing fantastically well. Tell me what you think about them. Can Celtic... It's never going to happen. Don't even say that. You know, there's no way that Celtic hierarchy would employ a manager and be like one of those top Northern European sides that we've met over the years. It's just not happening at all, is it? Anyway, Chris Sutton says that the outcome of the derby this weekend, he says, you know, it could end up in a draw and it would leave Hearts. If Hearts win, it could be the best possible result for Hearts going forwards. You know, if those two cancel each other out, Hearts just keep winning 1-0. Happy days, says Chris Sutton. We don't think of it like that, Chris. We think that we're going to go out and demolish them because we are Celtic fans, and that's what we think. Let's get back to the team tonight. The team tonight, who do you think will play for Celtic this evening? It's late afternoon, really, sort of tea time. early evening. Celtic versus Stuttgart is 5:45 kickoff, I believe, in Celtic Park time. 6:45 Central European time. When you look at the squad of the players, I think that Martin O'Neill will not go easy. You know, we're all looking forward to the game, said Martin. We're all raring to go. Whoever plays, it will not be a lesser team. Although we are getting beat 4-1, say Celtic were to go out and score 2 goals early on in this game, which is very, very possible. It'd be very Celtic-like to go out and make a game of it, get it to 4-3 on aggregate, and then you're thinking, can Celtic go 2-0 up against this Stuttgart team? Martin O'Neill will believe he can. So I think that against what a lot of fans are saying, you know, Martin would be absolutely crazy to put out a full strength team, keep the players for the weekend. It's Martin O'Neill that you're talking about. It's Europa. He will not be thinking the way that many, many Celtic fans will be thinking. He will be thinking, if I can get it to 3, if we can get it to the 4, would you take your chance on penalties? As long as Sinisalo's in goals, mate. As long as you feel you want to call him Grandad, don't you? But anyway, amid the hectic schedule, European action does take place tonight, and the team. Let's get to the team, because I think that the team that will start tonight will be a strong team, and if we get the 2 goals up, and it rattles the cages of the Germans, and they bring on some fantastic players, and then go and score 2 goals themselves, you'll see massive changes. I reckon the starting 11. Now, it's a big shout, this one. It is a big shout, because Kasper bloody Schmeichel's been making a lot of mistakes. But I've just got the funny feeling that he will still go with Kasper Schmeichel in goals. A lot of us want him to go with Sinisalo. Do you know, it's a nothing game. Get Sinisalo in, get him up to, you know, give him a bit of European experience, give him that excitement. Hopefully that he's going to be. Is he good enough to be number 1 goalkeeper? A lot of people are saying that he's not good enough to be the number 1 goalkeeper at his young age. You've got to remember, Ross Dohan is younger than him. Those 2 will be on the bench tonight, though, and I reckon it will be Kasper Schmeichel in goals. It will be Liam Scales and Austin Trusty in the defence, and then that's where it gets interesting, because Colby Donovan will come in for Araujo. Colby Donovan was interviewed, or will they give it to Tony Ralston? I think he'll go with young Colby Donovan at this stage, because I think Colby gives you a little bit more composure, as where Tony is all gunning action and just ready to go for it, isn't he? I think young Colby gives you a little bit of composure, a bit like a younger Kieran Tierney, just not as good as Kieran as yet. Kieran Tierney will start the game also on the other side. In the midfield, with no Oxlade-Chamberlain in the midfield, it will be Callum McGregor. It will be Benji Nygren, and with Arne Engels also out injured. Will Paulo Bernardo be given the starting berth again, or will he go with Rio Hatate, the missing jumper? You never know. Luke McCown might get the start. I think he'll go with Paulo Bernardo to start with. But then again, the last game, Paulo Bernardo got to half-time and then was hooked off. Maybe I'll go with Luke McCown. Please don't start with Rio, Martin. I think that if we start with Rio, we're just selling the game. But anyway, when it comes to up front, he will go with Tam the Czech through the middle, and Junior Adamu is on the bench. Kelechi Iheanacho doesn't seem to be in Martin Neal's thoughts. He seems a bit like a bit of melted chocolate sometimes, isn't he? He's made of chocolate. He just melts at the first thing, it seems. But Tam the Czech will start up front with Callum Osmond out. When is Callum Osmond returning? It's about time that young lad was back. Hopefully he'll get some game time between now and the end of the season. Tereti will be on one wing, and Daisen Maeda will be on the other. Martin O'Neill will go with the strongest starting 11. You might think I'm absolutely crazy, but wait till you see the team tonight. I will be starting an hour and 30 minutes before kickoff, remember, as the team news does come out. We'll be coming out with that live. James Forrest will be on the bench for his swan song in Europe with Celtic. Will James leave Celtic in the summer? I believe that Celtic are leaving it up to James Forrest whether he wants to stay at Celtic or not. Would you keep James Forrest? Anyway, that's a talk for another day. Yang will be on the bench also, and I think if Celtic go 2-0 up, Martin O'Neill will try and go for it, to try and take it to extra time, to try and take it to the dreaded penalties. But here's the caveat, if the Germans do, as I expect, score 2 goals in the game, that will be the game changer, and Martin O'Neill will make wholesale changes in the second half to give as many players as possible as much game time in this game, purely for experience. So you'll see a lot of players that hopefully will be here next season will manage to get onto the pitch, and maybe some players that won't be here next season, maybe playing their last game after having a good career at Celtic. Tony Ralston, James Forrest, maybe even Callum McGregor. Anyway, tell me your thoughts in the comments. Score prediction. Well, I've already told you, I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw tonight. Yep, I think it will be a 2-2 draw. I think Celtic will go 2-0 up, and then the Germans will make some changes, and then they'll just wipe the floor with Celtic. I don't like saying 2-2, but that is my score predictions, and then we'll go out on an aggregate scoreline that I don't want to talk about. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic day. I shall see you in a couple of hours once we get the team prediction and everything ready. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.